Father, thank you for the afternoon and the liberty we have to study thy word. Allow us to look at the blessings that Israel had upon his sons. Allow us to reflect upon what has happened in the past so we could rely upon thy word for the future. In Jesus' name, amen. Alright, so we're here back with Genesis chapter 48. I'm glad you are watching today, and if you want to send us a question or comment, please do so by sending that to the questions at BFTBC.org. That's questions at BFTBC.org. Let's start with a quiz. Mrs. Grummer, we'll start with number 1.
Yes. What was the name of Joseph's 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim?
That's right, Manasseh and Ephraim. And Jacob, question number 2.
Who? He's not downstairs.
No, he's not.
Okay,
Okay.
let me tell you the question. Who was sick but strengthened himself?
That's right.
He said Jacob.
That's right. Bill, next, number 3.
Who did Jacob say blessed him while he was in the land of Luz? God.
That's right. Tammy, number 4.
What did God promise to give Jacob's seed for an everlasting possession, the land of Canaan?
That's right. Caroline, number 5.
In what country were 2 sons of Joseph born, and what are their names? Egypt I had just the one part. I didn't answer the
Okay.
second part.
That's
I
all right.
forgot about it.
Okay, that's understandable.
Second part is the same as question 1 anyway.
Which are Manasseh and Ephraim, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And number 6, Mrs. Grummer.
In what town did Joseph bury Rachel? I can't pronounce it, but it's E-P-H-R-A-H, Ephrath?
Ephrath, that's right. Ephrath, which is also known as Bethlehem. Jacob, number 7.
Who asked who are these? Israel asked that.
That's right. That's right. Bill, number 8.
Who said, they are my sons whom God hath given me in this place? Joseph.
That's right. Tammy, number 9.
Who had dim eyes due to his age? Israel?
That's right. He did. Caroline, number 10.
Write down any verse you like from chapter 48, and why did you select this verse? I forgot that part of it. I didn't do it.
Can you get that one done? Okay. Mrs. Grummer, what did you get?
Verse 3, 4, and maybe even 5. Because there in Luz the Lord told Jacob that he would make them fruitful and multiply and give them the land for an everlasting promise.
Excuse me.
And so why did you select those verses?
And she just told me.
Okay, she did. Okay, I'm sorry. Jacob, thank you, Tammy, for... Jacob, what do you get for number 10?
I got 48:30.
Uh-huh.
That's the bad example that we should never follow in Genesis 28:22 when he was in Luz.
Okay.
And 28:20 says, and Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God will be with me, he will keep me in his way that we go and give me bread to eat and raiment. And the next one, let's see, down near the bottom it says, oh, and then he'll do all this and that. He kind of he wanted to make a deal with God. If God would bow down to his wishes, and it kind of reminded me of a certain Spurgeon sermon I heard, saying that we have to get him first before anything, because anything besides him is hard to go.
Bill, what did you get?
Like he could, but
I got verse 11,
Verse 11?
and I chose that because God rewarded Jacob for his faithfulness.
Mm-hmm. That's right, you did. Tammy, what verse did you get?
I chose verse 11 as well. Can I read it?
Yes, please. Read it.
We were right, weren't we?
Mhm.
And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God has showed me. Also I see it, I chose it because it demonstrates God's goodness and mercy to those he loves. He gives us well beyond our desires and expectations.
Mrs. Grover, number 11.
Who bowed himself with his face to the earth? Joseph.
That's right. Jacob, number 12.
What is the name of Joseph? What is the name of Joseph's son who was placed near Israel's right hand? That would be Manasseh.
Manasseh, that's correct. Question 13, Bill.
Upon whose head did Israel place his right hand? Ephraim.
Ephraim, that's correct. Tammy, number 14.
What is the name of Joseph's firstborn son? Manasseh.
That's right. And Caroline, 15.
Who did Israel say are his fathers? I forgot to do that one.
Okay. Mrs. Drummer.
Abraham. Oh,
Number 6,
Abraham and
yeah,
Isaac.
that's right.
Was his
Hello.
Number 16, hi, Joanne. Hi, Eddie. Good to see you all. Go ahead, Jacob, number 16.
Who said, not so my father, for this is the firstborn? Joseph.
That's right. Joanne, number 17.
Who said, truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, Israel.
Israel. Number 18.
Danny, I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning. I feel like reading. Can I just listen, please?
Sure, that's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Bill, 18.
Into whose land did Jacob say that God would bring them? The land of thy fathers. Which
Okay.
would be Canaan, of course.
That's right. Tammy, number 19.
Who did Israel give one portion above his brethren? Joseph.
That's right. Caroline, number 20.
Right is something you have been reminded about from Genesis chapter 48. I didn't do that either.
Mrs. Grummer, what do you get for that one?
Okay, I got on Psalm 31:15. It tells how our times are in the Lord's hands.
Okay. Jacob. Our times are in the Lord's hands, aren't they? Jacob,
Yep.
what do you get for number 20?
Yes, sir. I had that too. I also get that. She got it.
Good. So you both have the same number. Joanne, what do you get for number 20?
Genesis 27, Esau was the eldest, but Jacob, the younger, received his father's blessing.
That's right. That's right.
It was by deceiving him with his mother's help.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes.
how he received it.
That's right. That's right. Bill.
I chose Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose.
Good. Romans 8:28. Tammy, what do you get?
What may be the tradition of men, in this case, to bless the eldest and give the double portion of the inheritance to him, is not always and often not the desire of God. His ways are much higher than the ways of men, and I quoted Isaiah 55:8-9, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts."
Good. All right, so let's turn to Genesis 49. We each read.
No, I can't sleep.
We each read 2 chapters. Somebody probably doesn't have 2 chapters. I read through 2 verses. This is Joseph.
We'll be here a while.
Yes. You guys start with that verse 1, please.
And Joseph called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that what shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father.
Go ahead, Jacob. 3-4.
Let me move the phone real close to my face here. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch.
Joanne, 5-6.
Simeon and Levi are brothers, or brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembling. Mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall.
Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Binding his bow into the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
Zebulun shall dwell in a haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and for his border shall be unto Zidon. Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens. All right, so here we have first part of Genesis 49, and this is the blessings that Jacob is giving to his sons. And how many sons did Jacob have? 12, that's right. He had 12 sons. 12 sons. And he's going to start with the oldest, the firstborn, to the youngest. Now, Mrs. Grummer, who's the firstborn of Jacob?
Reuben.
Reuben and Jacob, who's the youngest? Lastborn. Benjamin, that's right. Benjamin is the lastborn. And then we had how many wives did Jacob have, Bill?
He had 2 wives and their handmaids.
Okay, 2 wives and 2 concubines, that's right. And so, the name of the one wife, Tammy?
Rachel.
Rachel, and the other one, Caroline, remember the other one's name? Is Leah. So those are the wives' names. And Bilhah, and I forget the other concubine's name. Zilpah, thank you. Zilpah. Bilhah and Zilpah were the concubines. The secondary wives, the handmaids to the concubines. So, look in here, verse 49. It says, Jacob called his sons. Now, you said there was 12 sons, right? There's 12 sons, because we have each one of the sons correlates with 12 tribes of Israel, right? There's 12 tribes in Israel. And so he called his sons, and he wanted to tell them something. Gather yourselves together that I may tell you what shall befall you in the last days. Now,
Before you?
It's going to happen to them.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right, befall. So what's coming up?
yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
And so now these are somewhat prophetic. These blessings. Some of them have greater degrees of significance and prophecy than others, but nonetheless they are prophetic. He's saying, he's giving an idea, a picture of what's going to happen to them, what's going to happen to them in the last days. And so they gather themselves to hear, the sons of Jacob, and to hearken. And hearken, what does hearken mean? Caroline, any idea what hearken means? I mentioned in verse 2.
Loud. Something.
Hearken, it has to do with sound, but like listening, the other end of the sound. Not the sound that comes out of the mouth, but the sound that comes into the ear.
That's what I mean, the sound like that.
Hearken, sound, yeah. So
Attention
attention.
is fastened.
Yeah, that's
to that
even
as well.
to that. It's like it's an emphatic type of Listen up. That's right. Listen up. That's good. And so hearken unto Israel, your father. And he starts out with verse 3 with the firstborn. And again, remember, and who gave birth to the mother of the firstborn? Leah, that's right. Leah is the mother of the firstborn. And so he says, Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength. The excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. Now, how did he continue to describe Reuben in verse 4? Tammy, how else was Reuben being described in verse 4?
If he wasn't, it was a negative.
Unstable as water. That's the thing. Now, what does that mean? Unstable as water. Now,
Well, you try and stand on water.
Yes.
It's not possible.
no, you can't stand on water. You know, it's
Not listed in your Peter,
Well-
and you're walking out there on the water.
But then he fell.
or it's below 32 degrees. Yeah.
Yes,
For a long
yes.
time, yeah. I mean, it has to be. The water has to be nice and thick and icy for it to be able
That's
to.
it.
But as far as it's not stable in the sense of it's
Can't hold it
you know.
in your hand.
You can't hold it in our hand. You know, we could put it in a cup, but then even we could move the cup around, and the water's going to slosh all over the place. We can put it in a bucket, but it's
It'll
it's
take whatever form it goes
yes,
into.
that's right.
It's put
That's
in.
good.
Well,
That's
I
good.
didn't hear what
It'll take the shape of whatever form it goes into.
And so, unstable as water. Now he reminds Reuben of something here in verse 4 about the adultery that he committed with the handmaid, with Zilpah, with Leah's handmaid. He defiled his father's bed because he took the handmaid, which was his father's secondary wife. She had belonged to him, and yet he committed adultery with her. And they were both guilty of adultery, but he was perhaps shared in a greater degree of the guilt than she did. So, the next two sons, these two sons are also the sons of Leah. And what are their names?
Simeon and Levi.
Simeon and Levi. Now, what was the name of who remembers the name of Leah's daughter? One of the daughters, Dinah.
Yeah.
That's right. Dinah is the name. That's right, Mrs. Romer. Dinah is the name of the daughter, and it's a full sister of both. You know, the six sons of Leah. Dinah is a full sister of these 6 sons. Of these 2 men here, Simeon and Levi, are 2 of the brothers, full brothers, as opposed to a half brother. Now you understand the distinction, full brother, half brother. So the full brother, so she was a full sister of Simeon and Levi. Now Dinah's name is not mentioned here in verse 5, but yet it's talking. This is the way I believe what is being discussed here is this account which was during the time of Shechem, which we talked about this a few chapters ago. So what is discussed here, he says, Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty. Now, what is an instrument? What is it, Jacob?
It could be a person. It could be a lot of things.
It's a device.
A device?
You
Okay.
said tool.
A tool. Okay, Jacob said tool. Thank you. I'm standing right on top of the phone here. Maybe because I got hit in the phone earlier this morning.
Well, Jacob dropped
I know,
his
that's
phone
why-
earlier.
yes,
It might have hit you on the
I think
head.
it did. So it's affecting my hearing. So it's a tool. And Did remind me what you said?
I said it could be a person, couldn't it?
Could be a person.
Or instruments, right?
Yes. And someone else said something similar to tool, parallel to tool. What was you, Tammy?
No,
Or Bill?
Bill.
What do you say, Bill?
Instrument.
Instrument. So we have the idea of how they are.
It's from chapter 30,
Just going back to chapter 30,
34.
chapter 34. Let's go back there briefly. Genesis 34. And you have a particular verse in 34.
I just found the chapter, so.
Okay, I will find the verse. now.
24 to 30.
Okay, 24 to 30. You want to read those 6 verses, Caroline?
Wait a minute, so I get that. Okay, 24 to 30. And on to Haman, and on to, I can't pronounce all of
Shechem.
them.
That's okay, Shechem. Neither can I. But Shechem.
His son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the 3rd day, when they were sore, that the 2 of the sons of Jacob, Simon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and showed all the males. And they showed Harmon and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of the house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came unto the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all that wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives, They took captive and spoilt even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Pharaonites, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and shall slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house.
Good, thank you, Caroline. So that's what the instruments of cruelty, referring back to this instance when they took revenge for what happened to their sister Dinah.
But we should also mention that he wanted to marry her.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was part of the cruelty. I mean, it wasn't that he defiled her and then just threw her away.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to marry her.
Right. That's true. That's right, Joanne. You're right. Yes, Miss Rummer.
They were like partners in crime.
Well, Simeon and Levi were, right?
Yes.
Yes, they were. And what the point Joanne is bringing up is that Shechem had it. He should have arranged the marriage first.
Yeah.
But he took it upon himself to.
Well,
Tammy.
they, especially Simeon and Levi, they planned it.
Yes, they
I
did.
mean, it wasn't just something that out of anger they,
Right, you're right.
I mean, it was
planned.
It was premeditated, and they knew that once they were circumcised, there would be 3 days before they would be able to have full strength.
Yes.
And so they attacked them during that time.
Yes, they did. I mean, and under the guise of having a marriage, they said, if you want to marry us, or if you want to marry our people, and if you want to intermarry with us, and you want us to intermarry with you, then follow these procedures that we have outlined here. So they did deceive them, thinking that they were going to get the marriage, and of course Shechem and Hamor, they thought that it was going to be an advantage to them, in the fact that they would gain a lot of cattle, a lot of things, but yet, so it was, like Tammy was saying, it was premeditated. They planned it out. It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. It was a planned out reaction that they had. So, yes, Jacob, what's your thought?
I have to put the blame of this primarily on Jacob.
Okay.
Because he shouldn't have been there. And they knew better. They had rules. They knew what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, I don't know. It's a hard call to make.
So what you're saying, just like an instance with Lot should have never went into Sodom. He should have never.
And Abraham should have never went to Egypt to get Hagar, and all sorts of examples, bad examples like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you that.
So
They lied. Verse 16 says that they lied.
verse 16 of chapter 34.
Right.
Read the verse there, Joanne.
Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people.
Mm-hmm.
So they deliberately lied to them.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm.
They knew they weren't going to do that.
Right.
They knew they weren't going to do that.
Right. They did. They had they had the plan to revenge, and so they were deceptive. So they were instruments of cruelty here, as their father is reminding them. In verse 6, O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united. For their anger, they slew a man. So they had, their anger, they slew a man, referring to what happened to Shechem and everybody in part of that family. And in their self-will, they dig down a wall. And so, and then you heard Jacob. What was Jacob's view of their anger, Jacob? Verse 7.
Verse 7.
Verse 7?
Yes.
Verse 7, be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them, and Jacob and scattered them in Israel.
Okay, so he calls it cursed, and he said it was cruel.
It was also breaking covenant. That was against the rules, too. And then if they would have actually done what they were promising these people, it would have made it even worse on the doctrine of separation.
Yes, it would. It would have. They shouldn't have been intermarrying. This was before the law, but still, I think there was a principle that they were aware of, that they should have not done that. I mean, we mentioned other examples earlier. But yeah, that's true. They had no business even making the deal to intermarry. Now, who was the fourth-born son of Leah and Jacob? Judah. Now, what is unique about the tribe of Judah? Ed, you know anything
I
that's unique?
used to know. I really did years ago.
Okay.
It's been so long. I know that. Look,
That's what Jesus said.
I know. Yeah, it's been so long.
Right,
I
know
couldn't sleep last night. I woke up since 10 after 2, but
understand.
anyway.
I understand.
Yeah, but it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
It's
it
in
has
the back
been.
of my head.
And maybe it'll come to the front of it sometime before the class is over with, which is good. You know. So, who comes from Judah?
Jesus.
Jesus does. Who else comes from Judah? Who's the
That's what I mean.
who?
David.
David comes from
Right,
Judah.
that's
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Right.
So Judah here, he says he's a lion's whelp from the prey.
Baby, right?
Yes, I believe so. A lion's whelp, a small little cubby lion. A lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down and couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? So he's pictured as a young lion, as a whelp, and also as an old lion. And so when we think of who knows anything about lions, Mrs. Grummer, do you know anything about lions?
The king of the jungle.
Yeah, I do. They're mean. That's about it.
They can be mean. It's just
I wouldn't want to be around them. They're mean.
yes, they can be mean. It's just the king of the jungle.
That's what they say.
The male lion just lays there and the female
Female
brings up the
test,
food.
right?
Okay.
Doesn't work.
All right. Yes.
Well, that's true.
It is.
He just lays there
But
and
he
the
also
female brings
protects
it.
the pride, though.
Yeah, I mean, he looks mean,
The lions,
but
man.
the female, does most of the hunting. And then he eats it.
Okay.
It's a
So-
good arrangement.
I think I've heard that before. I've heard that before. Now this verse 10 is a very familiar verse. What do we know about verse 10? Have you heard about verse 10, Caroline? This familiar verse to you: the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor lawgiver between his feet,
Yeah.
until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. You familiar with that verse?
Yes.
And so it's somewhat messianic, isn't it? Messianic refers to the Messiah, does it not?
The scepter, that's
Yes.
what the king holds?
Yes,
Yes.
scepter, a king holds the
Yeah.
scepter holds. King holds the scepter,
The scepter,
yes.
the stick.
Yes.
What's another word for scepter? I know it's like a sword or something, ain't it? Something, I don't know, some kind of rod.
Scepter.
It's a rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a rod.
With a special end on it.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yep. And so here we have Jacob telling his son Judah how the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor lawgiver between his feet until Shiloh come.
What does that mean, not a lawgiver from between his feet?
Go, Tammy, explain it.
No.
What would you say, Tammy?
Well, there's going to always be a ruler. I mean, after the captivity, there wasn't a king, but we still had Zerubbabel. He was a ruler. He was a governor. Then he was from the tribe of Judah. So I mean, it's a lawgiver. In other words, a ruler, like one of the leaders of the land. I'm sorry, you could have explained it better.
You explain. You explained it great. You explained it very well. Good. That's nice. That's good. So this is Judah. Now, binding his fowl onto the vine, and his ass colt onto a choice vine, he washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white like milk. Now, have you ever seen him with really white teeth before?
Yeah.
No.
On television.
No. But every now and then I see somebody walking around with really white teeth, but not. Not that I'm really paying attention to it, but if their teeth are showing, if they're smiling or something, then you see their teeth. And so the teeth, it says, his teeth shall be white, as white with milk. Then we go to the next son,
What about the previous verse? I'm sorry. Can you talk about
verse
that?
11. Okay, now what's a fowl?
A foul.
Isn't it a
Mistake.
foal?
Foal, fowl, foal. It's a foal.
Mistake.
It's a baby one.
It's a foal. Yeah, we got
It's a baby lamb,
four
isn't
foals
it?
around.
The
Foal.
baby,
Is it a baby horse?
It's like I would think it's a, since the next verse says a colt, I mean it could be either a
It's
lamb
a donkey.
or donkey.
Horse?
They
No,
got
a
those.
lamb is a lamb, isn't it?
Oh, say that one more time.
Wouldn't they call a lamb a lamb?
Yes, they might. But I think because of the next part of the verse, you are right, Anna. I think they would call a lamb or sheep, or sometimes an ewe they would call it. And so bind his fowl into the vine. Now what's a vine? Foal, probably foal. Yeah, synonyms. Not really.
Foul, that's like what happens in a basketball game.
Okay, all right.
Somebody pushes
Foul.
someone.
Fowl that fly
Okay.
around.
What do you want, the vine that a grape grows on, you mean, or you
Yeah.
want the foal?
Well, the vine. I'm talking about the vine. What's a vine?
That's,
A vine?
Yes.
that climbs up like ivy.
Okay.
Yeah, that Tarzan swang from a
Cranberries grow on
vine.
a vine.
Okay. Yes, grapes are growing on a vine.
Tarzan,
Cranberries.
Tarzan swung from the vine.
Yes. What else grows on the vine, Tammy?
Cranberries.
Cranberries. Mrs. Grover, you have anything that grows on the vine?
Cranberries grow on vines?
Right?
Grapes grow on the vine.
Grapes.
And so, binding his,
Watermelon?
what does he bind to the grapevine? What does he bind to the vine?
The baby donkey.
Baby donkey, the fowl,
Foal.
the foal. he binds the foal. I asked, but no one would tell me.
Pastor Dan,
Yes,
Didn't
Jake.
I tell you?
Yes, you
I
did.
think-
3
I can't
times.
help but think of the verse, I am the vine.
That's good. And so, when Eddie, what does it mean to bind something?
The bind?
To bind, yes.
Like in a bind?
Like
No, not that type of bind.
when you bind somebody up, what do you do to bind them up?
You sew
Like-
it together. Sew
Yeah,
it
like put them together. Like marinated, you bind them, I guess.
You
Good.
tie them up,
Yeah, do
Okay,
that.
you tie it up. So he's tying the. What is he tying to the vine?
the foal.
The foal. That's right.
The
He's tying
baby donkey.
the baby donkey. The foal. He's tying the foal to the vine, and his ass is called unto the choice vine. And he talks about he washed his garments. Now, how do we wash our garments today?
Launch
Washing machine.
The washing machine.
With water.
With water. That's right. With
It's like
water.
wash them in wine.
The washing in wine. Now, what is wine? Wine comes. Where do we get wine from?
Grapes.
The grapes. And so we have the vine. You know, is everything? I think everything's all right. But we bind. When we think of grapes, we think of the vine. We get grapes from the vine.
Yeah.
And so when we say he washed his garments in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Is that referring to wrath?
Yes, it could be.
What did you say, Tony?
Oh, is that regarding wrath? Or is that related to wrath?
Oh,
Wrath, a lot of times, wine and what is it? The blood of grapes.
Yes.
It's a picture of God's wrath.
Pastor Dan,
Yes, Jacob.
can you have somebody read Isaiah 63, 1 through 3?
Isaiah 60,
63.
63 verses 1 to 3. So, who is Isaiah 60 verses 1 to 3?
63.
63.
Isaiah 63. Someone read that for me. Joanne's going to read it, I think.
I haven't found it yet.
When she finds it, she'll read it. Isaiah
Who is
63.
this?
Oh, Tammy's going to read it.
Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This is that glorious, this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth the wine fat. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. That's interesting.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Jacob.
It's a good.
That's a good cross-reference on Isaiah 63 verses 1 to 3. Now,
And you know, Pastor Dan.
yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this you know, when Jerusalem on that foretold, that was a young donkey that had never been ridden.
Yes.
That was God's control over all of nature, even the animals.
Right. That's right. Good observation. Another cross-reference. During the triumphal entry. Yes.
Unbroken like that.
Now looking at yeah, that's right. That is true. On the number he wrote, an unbroken animal. Now, what was a haven? We're going to verse 8. What's a haven?
A safe place.
A safe place. A safe place. And when we have a haven of the sea, now, whoever's been on a boat before, anyone, Carolyn, you ever been on a boat before?
No.
No? Anna, you been on a boat before? Okay. Joanne?
Yes.
Mrs. Gromer?
Yes.
Jacob? Tammy? Yes. So, we have, Ed says a haven is a safe place.
Could be.
Haven is supposed to be, it's intended to be a safe place, a haven. And so the haven of the sea, Zebulun is a haven of the sea. He shall be for a haven of ships. And his border shall be into Sidon. That's Zebulun. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And so when we think of these donkeys, they can bear heavy burdens.
And like a strap over their back.
Yes.
And bags on either side.
That's good.
They're heavy
Yeah.
burdens, though.
A heavy burden. I mean, have you ever seen anyone move a refrigerator before?
Yeah.
Explain the procedure.
Well, if you use the hand truck with the straps, you carry it on your. I seen this one guy once carry it on his back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I really did a long time ago. Big guy, whatever.
Right.
But for the most part, a hand truck with the straps.
Okay. Right.
For the most part.
Right.
Or two people could carry it, but we come along, so you know what I mean? For the most part now, a hand truck with straps. Or forklift, whatever,
Right. But sometimes if it's a heavy burden,
Yeah.
things get heavy. I mean, ever seen anyone move a piano before?
Couple of people, yeah. To cut
This piano. How many people do you think it would take to move this piano?
4, maybe, for this
2 people? You've seen 2 people move it?
4.
Okay. 4 people? What do you say, Joanne?
I think at least 4.
4?
Right.
And what do you say?
I don't know, I'm not in the
Okay.
piano moving business.
Okay. Jacob, what do you say?
Not much.
Not much? Okay.
Even 6. 2 and 2.
It's not
and one on the front.
volunteering.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay. So you want to come and move the piano, huh, Jacob? Okay. I understand. What? To move this piano, I mean, when this piano came into this room here,
Yeah.
2 people brought it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the way it was done, because they had a system. Because they knew how to move the piano.
Right.
They knew how to, you've seen it done, Caroline.
Was it a one piece?
The reason why I said
Yes.
because it's like we had a piano and it moved from like across the street from us to our house,
Okay.
and so 2 people moved that piano and everything like that. That's
Right.
why I said.
Was it in one piece like that?
No, you take the top off. You take,
See what I mean?
you take you take the legs. There's a process you do. You have to disassemble it partly. You have to
See, we thought you were talking about
and
when
they-
it was like this.
Oh, when it's like this. Tammy.
Can we talk about the 2 men that we saw move the refrigerator?
Yes, let's discuss this. Anne, have you ever seen anyone move a refrigerator before?
I wasn't downstairs.
Okay.
Why don't you talk about it,
Okay.
please?
Okay, you want me to talk about it? I've seen someone move a refrigerator before. There were 2 men that came to the house to move a refrigerator for us. I thought, like you said, they were going to bring an appliance dolly.
Right.
And with the straps and
Yeah.
just pick it up and move it. One guy could do, I mean, one person could do that with the appliance dolly. But these guys came with no appliance dollies, showed up by themselves, and what they had these straps that they put around their shoulders, and they slid part of it to be like a big 6 to 8 inch strap under the refrigerator, and they were able to tighten up the strap, so they were able to lift it up, and so they were sharing the weight of the refrigerator, and the refrigerator was like 6 inches off the ground or whatever it was, and they were able to balance like this and move that refrigerator, and it wasn't even touching the ground. The weight was being borne upon their backs.
I saw that before.
You know,
They carried it
It's
up
easy.
steps.
It's leverage.
they carried it down the front steps of the house, and then out to the curb where the truck was. And they brought the other one back. They brought the other one into the house the opposite way.
And did they take the door off?
On the refrigerator, yes. They took the door off the refrigerator, yes.
Just the new one,
Yes.
not the old one.
Yes. They did take the door off the old one, but just the new one. I guess it was just the new one was a little bit wider than the old one. So you sure they? So that's what they did.
I don't think they took it off the old one.
Okay. All right.
But it's sort of opposite of this
Yes. And so you have one. And as Tammy was mentioning, we have the back, and you have something that's drooping over the back on either side. You have a strap or something, and you have a drooping, and you have a big, let's say 100 pounds on this side, joined with some rope and some strapping or some with fabric, 100 pounds on this side. And so this burden, this animal, is supposed to be a cross between the horse and the donkey. And the strength of a horse but the size of a donkey. And so you have this big, tremendous burden upon him. It says, Zebulun shall be, well, not Zebulun, Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens. And he saw the rest was good, and the land, it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulders to bear and become a servant unto tribute. So, Anna.
I thought it was a mule that was a cross between a donkey and a horse.
Yes, it is. You're right. I said a guy got it backwards, upside down, and a couple of ways. I'm sorry. You're right. There are scientists in the back of the room.
Well, this seems to be talking about a donkey, doesn't it?
Yes, that's true.
We're misunderstanding.
No, we're not misunderstanding. We understand it correctly. It's not a mule, but it's a donkey in this passage here. Thank you for noting that out. We have a science major in the back of the building here. Not just any science major, she's a computational biology major. So she was able to determine that what I said was wrong. So thank you, Anna, for pointing that out. I appreciate that. It should have been obvious. It should have been but it wasn't.
To the scripture.
Let's get back to the scriptures.
Thank you.
Mrs. Graham, read verses 16 and 17, please.
Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse's heel, so that his rider shall fall backwards.
I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Yeah, the truth shall overcome him, but he shall overcome the last.
Verses 20 and 21. Joanne's going to do 20 and 21.
Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Piety is a hind, let loose he giveth goodly words.
Joseph is fruitful, bough, even a fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at him and hated him.
But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel, even by the God of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast and of the womb.
The blessings of the Father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf in the morning. He shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it that their father spake unto them, and blessed them. Every one according to his blessing he blessed them. And he charged them, and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron Hittite.
In a cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought, with the field of Ephron Hittite for possession of burying place. These they buried Abraham. There they buried Abraham, and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac, and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah. The purchase of the field of the cave that is therein was from the children of Heth. And when Jacob had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet into his bed, and yielded up the ghost, and was gathered unto his people. So getting back to Dan, what was unique about the tribe? What was unique about the tribe of Dan? What was Dan? What does verse 16 say about Dan, the son of Jacob, son of Israel?
He's going to judge.
He's going to judge. His name means Dan. His name means judge. The name Dan in Hebrew means judge. That's when we have the word Daniel, the prophet. His name means God is judge, or God is my judge, because there's the word Dan in there. And it says, he shall be a serpent by the way, and out in the path, that biteth the horse's heels, so his rider shall fall backward. So, what is that? What's a serpent?
It's a snake.
A snake. Sorry, the serpent is a snake. And it says...
And the kind of snake is an adder, right?
Yes, that's right. That's correct. It's kind of snake. And I waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Waiting for the salvation. Waiting for deliverance. Tam, you have a thought?
Well, it just reminds me of the serpent in Genesis 3.
Yes, that's right. What do we know about the serpent in Genesis 3, Ed?
Satan went into the serpent,
Yeah.
and God punished this serpent that they've been crawling in that belly forever or something. He talked to Eve, through the snake.
Yes.
I think the snake was in a tree or something. Was he?
I'm not sure if it was a tree or just speaking of it just standing up, Ed.
Yeah. Snakes used to stand up.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's right.
So he could have been on the
But
ground.
sometimes, they still stand up.
Mm.
Sometimes, like the cobra could stand up for a little while or something like that.
Yeah. To a limited degree, they can't they?
Yeah, but then they go right back down.
Yeah. They actually have a skeletal structure to their body. And okay, wait a minute. We have to clarify this. Explain the physiology of a snake.
Anatomy.
Of course they have a
Well, because they're mammal. I think with skeletal is a
I
mammal.
want to hear this.
Oh, yeah.
Anatomy.
And please explain. And don't forget number 10.
The anatomy.
The anatomy, not the physiology. The anatomy of a snake.
It's a mammal.
Well, I mean, how is it surprising that they have a skeleton? If they used to have legs, then of course we would expect them to have a backbone.
Right. I wasn't surprised, but
But you were acting as though you were surprised.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But did they used to have a backbone and feet then?
They do have a backbone currently. They currently have a backbone.
Right.
But they do, this, from what we can gather from what the scripture says, they used to walk. And as opposed to go on their belly. Because what's the point of telling a snake it's going to go on its belly if it already goes on its belly?
Bill, no.
About 5-6 years ago, there was a report in the news that a snake had been found in Israel which had legs.
Okay.
Wow, I never heard that.
Skeleton?
Yeah,
A
skeleton.
fossil?
So,
But the whole point of bringing up Genesis 3 was about thou shalt bruise thou shalt bruise his. No, let me get it straight. It was.
Genesis 3:15.
Yeah, it was referring to Christ. Thou shalt bruise his head, but he shall bruise thy heel. Referring to the crucifixion and the cross.
Going back to Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. Let me read that. You think you quoted it, but I'll read it. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. And so we have, where was it? The end of the serpent, he said. The verse that Anna was talking about.
Okay, verse 14.
Verse 14, go to read that.
And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, which is interesting too,
yes.
ultimate cattle, and above every beast of the field, and upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
All right, thank you. So this is in Gad, verse 19. A truth shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So, although he has struggled at first, he'll have victory at the end. Next is Asher. His bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. So as far as having a good return, you could be able to survive that way. Naphtali is a hind, let loose like a baby deer. Let loose, he giveth good works, go by the good words. Anyone ever seen a deer before? Look at even the full-size deer or a small deer.
Yes.
Tell me about what you thought.
The eyes, I like the eyes.
We like the eyes. What do you think about these deers?
They seem, I don't know, they just seem very delicate. They're not like ferocious or anything. You know?
Yeah, but if they feel threatened and you're close to them, you don't want them to butt into you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they can be dangerous.
They just seem very dainty. I mean, their legs are like really skinny.
Yeah.
And things like that. That's what my impression
Yeah.
was.
They can run very fast.
And I also didn't see
long distances.
a boy deer. I saw,
No.
a female deer. So maybe the males are more ferocious,
How'd you know it was a female?
because it didn't have any horns.
But,
But the hind is a
So-
female deer,
Yes.
according to the footnotes.
Yes, I'm sorry, the hind is a female.
deer.
I thought a doe was a female deer.
The same thing. Doe is a female deer. Hind is another word.
Oh, yeah, I
doe,
didn't know
got it. And doe, and then the buck is the
And they're graceful.
yes.
Where's
Graceful.
the buck?
What's that?
That's
What?
the male.
The buck's the male.
Oh,
He gave the goodly words. Who's next? What's the next son? The 11th born son. What's his name?
So does that mean that this, in verse 21, that he's going to be like delicate, or no?
I think it's going to talk about he gave it goodly words.
No,
He's going to be Anna, what do you think about this verse 21?
never mind. I'm just commenting about cameras.
Okay, you got a. I understand. So we have.
Maybe
So-
he's going to be graceful with his words.
Be graceful with his words. Some of us are more graceful than other people with the words we speak. We have to, we have to be seasoned with salt. And we have to be careful. We have no corrupt communication proceed out of our mouth. So he can be graceful with his words, just like when we see the deers, the baby female deers running around, or any deer, but he's the hind running, which we don't see them in town too often. I haven't seen one in town, but I've seen them out driving
Well, they're
on the highway and so
some in
forth.
Cherry Hill.
Yes, that's true. We see some.
Jill was talking about
Yes,
deer.
they do have some in Cherry Hill there, in her neighborhood, because it's more wooded area and a little bit more open space. So you'd have some in that area, and sometimes I remember they have what's called spotting. They're not like they shine a spotlight on them. When the spotlight hits them, they'll freeze. They'll stop and look at the light. Not that, just so you can enjoy them, enjoy the beauty of the deer. It's called spotting them, I think.
In the dark, you can see the eyes
Yes, you can.
floating like.
You can. Then we come to the 11th son. And the name of the 11th son. And what's the name of the 11th son of Jacob and Rachel? Well, probably I shouldn't use the word and. I have to use a different. 11th son of Jacob. The firstborn son of Rachel, and the 11th born son of Jacob is
Joseph.
Joseph.
I've been saying that the past.
Joseph is for the past half hour.
Well, the past.
Okay.
How many times you asked?
Okay, Joseph. That's it. Joseph. Now, how is Joseph described here, Jacob?
The fruitful bough.
Fruitful bough. Even fruitful bough as well, whose branches run over the wall. You can think of a big tree. You think of a wall and how the branches run over the wall. There's a tree about a block from here that goes through the porch of a house. I mean, that's how they built the house. They built the porch around the tree.
Wow.
And so, which I mean, you need time. I wonder what they're going to do with that. But anyway, that's what they did. But the idea of having a wall. What's the function of a wall?
Keep people
Divider.
Separation. What you keep people out? What we said? Hey, what you said?
Like divider.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Keep out bad weather.
What?
keep out the bad weather.
I'm not trouble with
Yes.
you. I don't know why.
Keep out bad weather. Yeah. Probably because Ed is sitting between us.
Prison walls can keep people in.
Yeah, that's right. So they can. And so we have the branches reach over the wall, and the fruit thereof. The archers have surely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him. So this is referring to hatred that
all the things that went on in this.
all the evil that happened to Joseph in his life, referring to this. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hand were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. So through these trials, his hands, he was made strengthened. They gave him strength, not weakness. Even by the God of thy fathers who shall help thee, and by the Almighty who shall bless thee with blessings from heaven above, blessings of the deep, that lieth under, blessings of the breasts and of the womb. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessing of my progenitors, and the utmost bound of everlasting hills shall be on the head of Joseph, and the crown of the head of him that was scepter from his brethren. Separate from his brethren. And so how is Benjamin pictured now? The 12th born son of Jacob, the second born son of Rachel. How is Benjamin pictured?
A hungry wolf.
Wolf, a hungry wolf. Mrs. Rummer, I'm sorry, what do you say?
It's a raven wolf.
Yep, a raven wolf. I didn't ever meet a wolf before, yeah.
I had a comment on verse 26.
Right?
But,
Okay.
you know, we don't have-
Please comment on verse 26.
It's just interesting that it talks about how he was separate from his brethren. And
Right.
that's like how he was in, Egypt all those years.
It was. And what do wolves usually do? What's their reputation?
Growl. A howl.
Howl. And
Yeah.
what else are they known for?
Bite.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
They huff and puff and blow the house down.
Yeah. It says three little bears. No.
The ravenous.
The three little bears.
Three little bears. Yeah. No, Alexis.
Pigs.
3 little pigs, you mean? You said 3 little bears.
Yeah, three little bears.
3 little pigs was.
There were the three bears
If
in
a wolf
Goldilocks.
attacked a bear, then the
Well,
bear
that's, yeah.
You're getting your stories mixed up.
Okay. Right.
There were 3 bears in Goldilocks.
Okay.
And Goldilocks was the bears.
Yes, but if a
I
wolf
guess that's
attacked
what that
three
was
bears,
with
who would
Joe's right.
win?
Yeah. So wasn't Jacob.
A bear.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something really interesting. I saw those black crows, or they're like ravens.
Yes.
And it was chasing after a
Seagull.
an eagle, not an eagle. It was like a hawk,
Okay.
which I thought, and the hawk was running away. I
Right.
was scared.
Okay.
How many were there?
2.
Two.
2 of the crows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
that hawk was really...
They were knocking around the hawk, but
Yeah, and they were going after his wings so that if they took his feathers from his wings, he would fall to the ground.
They were doing this in the air?
yeah, they were fighting.
After this, and it was right here when we were leaving the church on Sunday.
Really? Huh.
It
That's
was,
strange.
it was really something to see.
It was.
Because, I mean, they were smaller than the hawk.
Yep, there was
Yeah.
two of them.
And they were, I don't know what the hawk did to anger them like that, but they were...
They were knocking it around, but the hawk got away.
Maybe he stole their candy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was,
You tell us about the wolf that your dad brought home there, Jacob.
Oh, wow.
Well, we had a big chow dog, a blonde chow, kind of blondish red, and the dog was not as good as its mother, but it was pretty good. Like they're good, guard dogs, they're good protection. But my dad, he was at a bar and he liked to drink, and this dog hanging out in the parking lot, and everybody was afraid of it. And he opened the Jeep door and said, "Come on, let's go." And the wolf jumped in. And then the wolf got home and it was about to kill the chow. We had to keep them separated for a while, but they got to be good friends. And that dog hated anything wearing a uniform. Anyway, we give you some people out in East Chicago, Indiana, and they lived near a fire station. That dog hated sirens too. That dog would jump through the bay window, and they had to replace it many times. They had to finally board it up. But anyway, it had I don't know who had this dog, but it was a good dog. They can turn on you, but I don't know. I never seen no signs of it in this dog.
Okay.
I wouldn't trust them. People, they eat people sometimes, yeah.
There's no real warning they're going to
Right.
turn.
That's right. No, it's not.
I say.
Siberian Huskies are part wolf.
They don't growl.
Our wolf. Okay.
Yeah, and they don't growl. They won't give you a warning. They
Okay.
say about the Huskies. I had a Husky. It ate a whole litter of baby kittens.
In one sitting, probably.
Ate them. There wasn't a thing left. The reason that I knew is because the cat had kittens in the closet, in the kitchen. When that dog walked in the kitchen, the cat jumped up on the counter, the female cat, and was swatting at his eyes. She knew that he had eaten her kittens. And I mean, the dog, I saw him run down the cellar steps crying because this cat was after him. But but I'm telling
Cats
you,
can
he
be
ate a
pretty
whole list.
ferocious.
5 kittens he ate. I mean, they hadn't opened their eyes yet, but they were, they were,
Newborn kittens.
5 kittens.
Fine.
I would have swatted him too.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I couldn't believe this female cat, that she knew that if she jumped up on the kitchen counter, she was eye level with him. And I mean, just swinging, both of her going after his eyes.
You really have quite the adventure with your animals, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Right.
He also growled at me because he ran, and when I put him outside, he ran in the doghouse, and I said to him, "I'm going to set the doghouse on fire with you in it." I mean, I was so upset. And he did growl at me, and they say that they don't growl and give you warning, but he knew I was crazy at that point. I couldn't believe that he did that.
That's horrible. So Jacob, how many partners did Jacob? Ed,
Yeah.
how many sons did Israel have that Jacob had?
12.
12. And so, verse 20, all these are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah.
And this is their father spake unto them, and blessed them, every one according to his blessing, he blessed them. And then we see verse 29, he charged them, and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people, bury me with my fathers, in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite. And so what was about to happen here?
He was going to die.
He was going to die. He's going to be dying. And he identifies the cave. Remember, this is the cave that Abraham bought, the sons of Heth. Then he says, there Abraham buried. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife, and there they buried Isaac and Rebekah. And who else was buried there?
Leah.
Leah.
He didn't bury his wife there.
Leah was.
Leah was his wife.
Leah was-
I mean, his other wife.
Rachel died.
in Bethlehem. She
died.
was buried in Bethlehem.
She died after she gave birth to Benjamin, so she wasn't buried here. No. Mm-mm.
So
Just Leah.
buried her in Bethlehem.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And he purchased it from the sons of Heth, and Jacob was made an end of commanding his sons. He gave this verse is interesting. He gathered up his feet, made his bed, and yielded up the ghost, and he was gathered unto his people. So, the gathering of the feet and the gathering unto the people. Two things there in verse 33. So, thoughts you have about this, Mrs. Grummer?
About the last verse we just read?
About the last verse of all 33 verses.
The whole thing.
Yes.
You know, this chapter 49, I read it over and over again. It's fascinating to read and understand some of the tribes, you know, what they turned into and what they did. And it's a very interesting chapter.
Yes. That's right. Jacob, what are your thoughts?
I was thinking of verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine. White, no.
Right.
White always represents purity when you look at any kind of thing like. But I see it in Revelation 1:14. I think I put a little mark in here. It don't speak specifically about the teeth, but his head and his hairs were white like wool. His white as eyes were fire. And something else I noticed, I think that is the main part of that whole chapter.
Right.
And you know, a lot of people talk quite a bit about, you know, the tribe of Judah, but in the last days, because that's mainly what this is all about. God, you know, most people are under the impression that God's coming to save Israel. I think He's coming to save the people who are coming against Israel. If you look at Zechariah in chapter 12, it says it pretty clear in there, and Micah backs it up. They're going to be real sorry they did that, but they won't be able to help it, you know. It is going to be a horrible thing in that time, in that day.
So will be, Jacob. The wrath of God is going to be poured out upon them. Phil. I mean, not Phil, Joanne. Sorry, Phil. Joanne, you're next.
I have a question. So, the priest of Israel, do they come from Levi?
Levi, yes, they do. They come from Levi had three sons, Gershom, Kohath, Merari, and the Kohathites are where Aaron and Moses were from. So they're from the Aaronic line, from Aaron's children.
So
Aaron's descendants.
They're coming from the ones that were the instruments of cruelty. Right?
Yes, that's right. No, the instruments of cruelty are for
Simeon and
Simeon.
Levi.
That's right. Simeon and Levi. That's correct. They're coming from those two.
Okay.
Thank you for.
The Pharisees.
Yes.
Yeah, that was just it. I had a question.
Right. Okay.
No other comment.
Hey, something you picked up from this discussion. One thing you learned, Ed.
I don't know about I remember back when Jesus was with him. Who was that again? Judah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
No, it's
Judah. No. Alright. I'm right.
Judah comes from the tribe. Is that what
Right,
you meant?
yeah.
Okay.
So Christ comes from the tribe of Judah.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
No, nothing particular.
Tammy.
I don't know. These few verses about Dan really stuck out to me.
Okay. Yes.
He's going to judge his people, and he's going to be a serpent, by the way. I mean, it seems very picturesque of something in the future yet.
Caroline, something you've. Anna, how about you?
It was interesting. I think I missed some of it though.
Right. You missed a little couple verses. And
Anyway, so yeah. No specific comment.
okay. Okay. Tammy.
What do you think of that, Dan possibly being the tribe of the Antichrist?
That's possible, isn't it? Because the Antichrist will be Israelite. Will be from one of the 12 tribes.
Oh, really?
You know, yes, he will.
Is it the Antichrist Satan?
He's going to be Jewish. Israel, the Antichrist will be Jewish.
It's the Antichrist was Satan, isn't it?
No.
The Antichrist is not Satan?
Well, Antichrist is a
He's
person,
empowered
human
by
being
Satan.
that's like Bill says, empowered by Satan.
But he's a human being.
Alright.
Yeah, I think that's a very strong possibility.
But I didn't know that he comes from one of the 12. He's Jewish. One
Yes,
of
she
the
is.
12.
It talks about that in the book of Daniel.
It does.
Where do you find that
In Daniel.
Daniel?
But, well, I'm not sure which chapter. Toward the
Is it?
9
Nine or-
the
8.
God of his father.
Yeah, maybe it's past 9. It could be 10.
Does it tell you which tribe he's coming from?
No.
No, it doesn't tell us what tribe, but it has to be. He's got to be Jewish.
Where does it say that?
It said in Daniel.
Yes.
Pastor Dan,
Yes, Jacob.
maybe he'll be from the tribe of Dan.
Yes, that's right.
He'll be a serpent by the way, an
Mhm.
adder in the path.
Yes.
Just a guess.
Judges people.
Yes. Judges people. That's right.
And we can't know for certain.
No, we can't. No, we can't
We
know for
won't,
sure.
That's
we
what
won't
I
know
mean.
until
Doesn't say
after we're
that.
raptured out, and
That's
then
right.
he's revealed.
That's right. But we know he's going to be Jewish.
How we know that?
It says it in Daniel, they said.
Yeah.
You have to read the book of
Tammy.
Daniel.
Are those verses we were looking at about Judah, are that picturing Christ?
Yes, we're in verse
You know,
10.
as far as
Yes.
well, verse 10, verse 11, or
Yeah.
verse 12
Mhm.
and verse 11, where it says, binding his full onto the vine, and
Mhm.
you know, he washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Yes. That's messianic, prophetic. That's right. Any other thoughts or comments, observations about this chapter?
So you're saying, like, in the book of Daniel, it says, the Antichrist is going to be a Jewish man.
Yes.
And it says it in them words.
Yeah, more or less. It does.
Could you read it real fast?
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
All right. Some people say it's going to be the president. Some people say it's going to be the head of state. People say all kinds of stuff. But I believe that Satan is the Antichrist.
You're not fooling anybody, Ed. We know it's going to
Yeah.
be you.
Maybe, you never know.
Satan is one.
You're not Jewish, are you?
No.
Okay, so it's not. So you're
So I'll
saying.
get some more right.
Hey, we're not looking for the Antichrist, we're looking for Jesus Christ.
Yes, that's right. We are. Tammy, found it?
Chapter 11.
Thank you, Tammy. Chapter 11.
Verse, 36 and 37. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, capital G, nor the desire of women, nor regard any god, for he shall magnify himself above all.
Which verses were those again?
Are you hear him saying?
36 and 37 in
Oh,
chapter
okay.
11.
Got it?
And she just said, and that said that the Antichrist is going to be a Jewish man.
Out of his fathers.
All right.
He shall not regard the God of his fathers.
All right, Jacob, go ahead and close the prayer, please.
Thank you, Father God, for letting us together here today. Thank you for revealing so many things in your word that we can only see just the edge of. And thank you for keeping us hungry for your word, that we'll never know the whole thing, the beginning from the end, like you do. I want to thank you for the good preaching and teaching we have here at this church. And the people that want to do his will, that want to be faithful to pursue purity. And thank you for your precious Son, Jesus, and your Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 All right, thank you.